Hi, my fellow Gooners, humans, and everything in between. You're now tuned back into Concourse TV. You know it's the place to be. Anyway, keep or sell list today. I'm going to be covering the whole squad from back to front, goalkeepers to attackers. Some of these are going to be pretty simple, just keep or sell. Some of them will require an explanation so you know where my head's at and my thought process. Let's go! Let's get it cracking. Goalkeepers. Raya, world class, elite, nothing else to be said. Let's move on to the next. Kepa, that brother's got to go. We bought him for 5 million, I'd sell him for 2.5. That's how bad he's been this season. He could have completely derailed it from the Carabao Cup, and you saw the results, how it turned out in the end. Okay, let's get into the right backs. Yuri and Timber, I'd keep him for this season, that's upcoming, but if you see any more injuries like the previous two, it's time to go, buddy. Benjamin White, Benny Blanco, what can I say about him? I love him. One of our first signings, early doors, and he's been here from the start to the finish now, which was the title. But the injuries have taken its toll, and I think it's time for a replacement. Let's talk about the best centre-backs in the Premier League. Saliba, keep, easy. Next. Gabby, keep. Next. No explanations. World-class centre-backs, the best in the Premier League. There you go. Mosquera, outstanding first season. Bought him for 13 million. We robbed Valencia for that signing. Again, keep. Our centre-back, who has now joined permanently on loan in Cappy, obviously, I'll say to keep. He's been immense this season. Had a little bit of an injury at the start, but since then, whenever he's needed to step in, whether it's at left centre-back or left wing-back, he's done his job. So no complaints from me. Incredible signing, and I think we got it over the line for maybe 40 to 50 million, I think is going to be the end total. So nothing bad to say about you, fella. Let's keep it going till next season. We move on to the left wing backs, as we only have one in our ranks. Calafiori, great player on his day, but availability is the best ability. 2 seasons straight, we've had to sit through consistent injuries. Next season, he should be out of here. I don't think we're going to sell him this summer, as Real Madrid were looking at him, but they went with an alternative player in Cucurella. So I cannot see him going anywhere, but if it was up to me, he'd be out that front door and I'd be slamming it behind him. Let's move on to the middle of the park, our midfielders. Declan, rice and peas. What can I say? Keep. That's all I need to say. Elite, world-class midfielder. On to the next. MLS, and I'm not talking about American soccer. I'm talking about Miles Lewis Skelly. Keep. He single-handedly saved our season when it looked like it was in the ruins and it looked like it was close to being kaput, as we say in the Netherlands. Let's move on to the next. Zubamendi had a great first half of his season, but he started to tail off. He was tired. He's played more minutes than he's ever played in his career, and that explains his dip in form. I'll give him next season. I always give players a whole season of grace to adjust, have injuries, dips in form, etc., etc. But come next season, I need to see the finished product of what should be running in that engine room. You feel me? Okay, on to the next. Odegaard, it's time to go, buddy. As the famous Claude used to say, it's time to go. And it's that time. Again, great servant, brought us up from where we are. We were in the trenches, but it's clear that this team and this club have moved past him. As a captain and as a player, it's time for him to duck out of here, because he's not hitting the standards that he was in even 22-23 season. 25-26 just finished. So that highlights where we're at right now. Odegaard, Thank you, but laters. As I've been saying offline to my friends in my Arsenal group chat, Moreno, I would personally dash him. He's been out with injury since January of last season. Season-ending injuries. He's 31, I think, now. But for me, if he's happy to hold the bench as a benchman, cool, he can stay. But for me, I'd personally sell him, as I feel like he is blocking MLS's progress in the midfield, because I know this manager loves him. He's even called Mikel. So I call Mikel Moreno Arteta's son, because I'm sure that's how he looks at him. But sentiments and emotions out of the way, get Moreno out of here, I'm sorry. Norgard, I haven't got a bad thing to say about you, my friend. Anytime you stepped in, you did your job, you did it well, whether it was at centre-back or in midfield within the Carabao Cup. But it's clear to me this manager doesn't trust you, otherwise we would have seen you getting many more minutes, especially when Zubamendi's legs were gone. It was evident that he needed to be dropped and someone needed to come in, but clearly you weren't that guy. So it's time to sell. Eberechi Eze. Brother, you got to really turn things around next season. I'll keep you for this season. As I said, I give every player, especially new players, a season of grace. But next season, you need to be delivering me more than moments, fella. I need to see you controlling games in the midfield, breaking low blocks. I need to see everything, because for the price we paid for you, I've seen Odegaard do more over the years, and I want him gone. So I got to keep the standards fair here. Personally, I would keep Ethan Nwaneri. I'd put him in the Odegaard role, where he's dropping from deep and playing into the midfield, or you can use him as a backup midfielder to Eze in the 10 role. Either way, I think we should be keeping him, but the club are looking at him as his pure profit, as we promoted him from Hale End. So I'm kind of worried about that one. So we'll see how this season goes. But personally, he stays on the books for me. Right wingers, let's move on to Noni Madueke. Had some good games, had some where he was anonymous. I feel like he's finding his feet. Again, brand new team. I've got to give him a season of grace. I think there's a good player there. I've seen a lot from his raw days within the Eredivisie, but he's moved on a long time since then with Chelsea and now at Arsenal. And I need to see more end product, and I need to see better final balls in the final phase of play, because yeah, you're at the age you should be doing that by now. So you've got one more season to turn this around. Max Dowman, he's 16, he's not going anywhere. We're waiting for him to sign the professional contract. Keep. Victor Gyökeres, my striker, number 14. Let's do the breakdown. I see an agenda growing through the fan base at the moment. They're picking and choosing with Gyökeres. His goals won us the title, but then they're saying he's only scoring against teams he should be scoring against, and the big teams he's not turning up, etc., etc. I have seen a season of us not playing to his strengths, watching him make runs, he's not being played in, and the time we finally started finding him was in like the last 6 to 7 games of the season. So we're talking about game 30 and game 31 of the season, which is not good enough when you've been playing with a guy since August of last year. So let's have it correct. That, for me, is on the manager not building the tactics around the striker, and the players not assisting their striker, their number 9. But I can't blame them. They haven't had a number 9 to feed for Lord knows how long. We've been false nining for like seasons on end now, since Gabriel Jesus was here. So yeah, I'll keep, but if I don't see more from Gyökeres, and I'm talking about the big games now, it's time for him to go. But I'm not hearing this Alvarez swap for Gyökeres plus money. Drop me out. Kai Havertz. It's time for him to go. I'll tell you why. We signed him originally as a Xhaka replacement. Xhaka has gone away, won a title in Germany, come back to Sunderland, and still looked better than Kai has ever looked in midfield, trying to play Xhaka's role. Then we tried to move him into a cam role. That didn't work. So then we moved him into the striker role, force 9. I hate that saying. I really hate it. And he's done a few things up front. He had a little goal scoring period where he did well up front, but guess what? We won nothing with those goals. So it's irrelevant. This season, he's come back from injury and he's been bulking up, trying to look like Brock Lesnar. Last time I checked, he's a footballer, not a wrestler. I don't know if that's had an adverse effect on why he keeps breaking down. He's finally got himself fit, scored some important goals. But again, for me, on the wages he's on, he can't be sitting on the bench. He either starts games, which I don't want him to do, or he sits on the bench for a reduced salary. And I know that's not what he wants to do. So either way, I'm saying sell. Trossard, absolute steal. We paid about 26 million for him. He has brought us to the promised land. His goals have got us to a great place, whether it was in the Premier League or the Champions League, as well as the assists along the way, but it's just not often enough. So I'm sorry to say it, Leandro, but it's time to go for you also. Martinelli, Gabriel Martinelli. From when he burst onto the scene in 2018, 2019, he just hasn't really hit the heights. He had a really big high of a great season in 22-23 season, where he put up double digits in terms of goals and assists. But since Arteta has reduced our style to something extremely defensive, he's been doing more defensive duties than he has attacking. And I think that's where it's actually hindered his game. For me, I would sell Martinelli now just because I haven't seen enough since that 22-23 season, or even the season he broke through in. But there's something about Martinelli that makes me feel like if we sell him for a cut price rate, let's say 50 million, for example, I feel like he goes to the next club and absolutely kills it. And we're just going to look like idiots at the end of the day. For me, I would sell, but I'm also open to keeping him and just bringing in an elite left winger that plays in front of him, and we keep Gabriel Martinelli as our Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, our super sub, because every club needs super subs. Not everyone can be a starter. So I'm open to this one. I'm saying sell for now, but I'm also open to keeping. The loanees, Fabio Vieira, time to go, sell him. We've tried everything with this guy. We've tried him in the 6 role /8. We've tried him in the 10 role. We've tried him on right wing. We've tried him on left wing. It just hasn't worked out, and sometimes that happens. It is what it is. I think he just needs to start anew at another club that is more suited to his level and style of play, whether that be at a lower Premier League team, Championship, or abroad. Again, I don't care what he gets sold for. Just take whatever money we can get for him now, add in a sell-on clause within his setup at the new club, and we move forward. Reece Nelson, the failed Starboy project. It's time for him to go. I don't care if he's sold, I don't care if he's loaned, so another club pays off the rest of his wages for the last year of his contract. I really don't care what happens for him. We sell him, we get a little change, or we send him out on loan. Either way, I do not want to see him at Arsenal at all, not even on the bench. And the one you've been waiting for, Bukayo Saka. I said we need to sell. You know why? I love Saka. He's carried the club on his back for 3 seasons when everyone has been dire, but we have to call a spade a spade. He hasn't turned up since the 22-23 season. Him, Martinelli and Odegaard, they've all been missing since that season. They had a decent-ish season in 23-24. So, okay, we say 23-24, but still, we're looking at 2 seasons ago when they last actually brought in good form. And for me, Saka has just become overly predictable. For me, it's so obvious what he's going to do. He's going to try and cut in and pull off that left foot shot, which everyone knows what he's trying to do. And if he hasn't got enough space to do that, he's going to cut out on his right foot and cross with his right foot, or cut out with his left foot, should I say, and cross with his right foot. And it's just, it's boring. He doesn't really take on players anymore. People will be quick to diss Madueke, but Madueke beats his players. Madueke beats his players. It's the final end product that Madueke actually needs to improve. When Saka first came on the scene, he was doing exactly what Madueke was doing and cutting in and scoring. But the Premier League has seen 3 seasons of that. You think they haven't caught and done? They just double up on Saka. Every game they double up on Saka, and it's the same thing. It's just like, come on, how many times are you going to try this move? It's like, I don't know. Come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here? So, for me, I'd sell Saka. I don't think that will happen this season. But if I see another season of the one that just passed and the one before that, where the form is iffy and he has more injuries, I'm sorry, we've got to cut our losses. There's no love in war, as they say. There's only winning. There's only winning for me. And I don't care what that looks like half of the time. I just want the best, and the best to be doing what they should be doing 90% of the time, because no one's perfect. You can drop off 10%, but when you're dropping off 25 to 50% every season, nah, I'm not having it. So, sorry, Saka. For me, if it was up to me this season, if a good bid comes in, you're gone, fella. Sorry, I love you, Starboy, but you're gone. No one is bigger than the club. And I've always said that and always maintained that. No player is bigger than this club. Things always move on. Managers move on. Players move on. Clubs move on. Life moves on. You feel me? Okay, that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Share it with your family, your friends, your brethrens. Tell them to lock in to Concourse TV, because you know it's the place to be. Laters.